Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Today our lecture is titled, we are still continuing with the series on sub-regional organizations in sub-regional organizations in Africa, and today the one we're looking at, or the one we're beginning with, is um, EAC. That is East Africa Community, East African, East African Community. Now, the East African regional integration efforts began in the 1980s after the British conceived their colonial interest as a region and decided to pursue them as a region for administrative efficiency as East African High Commission (EAHO) in 1961. It was replaced by East African Common Service Organization (EACSO), okay, to manage the integration of the region. By 1969, East African Cooperation was established but collapsed in 1977. And in 2001, the East African Community was created. Okay, what are the objectives of East African Community? Number one, to strengthen regional cooperation. Number two, infrastructural development. Number three, full political, economic, and cultural integration of member states. Okay, so those are just the major objectives. What are the challenges? Number one challenge of East African Community is lack of economic growth and development. Now, that is number one. Number one challenge. Number two challenge is lack of political will. Number three challenge is the integrative efforts have been minimal. Okay, so those are the three major challenges. What are the prospects? Number one prospect is the promotion of regional economic development. That is number one, prospect. Number two, economic links between member states. There have been economic links between member states. Then number three, increased competition between firms as they expand, operations across national borders. So increased competition between firms as they expand, operations across national borders. Okay, so that is East African Community. The next sub-regional organization that we're going to be looking at is Common Market for Eastern and Southern African States. Common Market for Eastern and Southern African States. What you may want to call COMESA. Okay. Now, this is a free trade area with 20 member states stretching from Libya to Swaziland. Stretching from Libya to Swaziland. Okay, now it was formed in 1994. It was actually formed in 1994 to do what? To replace, to actually replace a preferential trade area, which had existed since 1981. Now, what are their challenges? What are their challenges? Number one challenge is hostile external trade environment. Number two, a large debt burden. That's number two. Then number three is small market size. Then now, what are the prospects of East African? What are the prospects of COMESA? Now, the prospect of COMESA are: number one, progress in productive sectors of industry and agriculture. That's number one. Number two, trade facilitation and liberation. Okay, and liberalization. That is number two. Number three, it has encouraged it has encouraged, export drives by member states. It has actually encouraged export drives by member states. Okay, so the next sub-regional organization that we're going to be talking about is the Arab Maghreb Union, AMU. Arab Maghreb Union, AMU. Now, this is a trade agreement, okay, sub-regional organization aimed at promoting a robust economic future and political unity among Arab countries of Maghreb in North Africa. And it was established in 1989. Now, what are the challenges of the Arab Maghreb Union? What are the challenges? Number one challenge is deep economic and political disagreement among member states. They have always been having this, this problem of disagreement, heated disagreement, among member states. That's number one. Number two is lack of commitment. Okay, there is no political will to actually, further the objective or to actually achieve the objectives, of the Arab Maghreb Union. That's number two. Then number three, unsolved Western Saharan crisis. Now, the Western Saharan crisis is actually a very big, challenge on their hands, and that is actually one of the things that have been a setback for them. Okay, now what are the prospects? Now let us look at the prospects of the Arab Maghreb Union. What are the prospects? Number one prospect is structural and institutional change. Structural and institutional change. Over time, they have been able to actually achieve some form of structural and institutional change, okay, within the sub-region. That's number one. Number two is growth potential. They have this potential to actually grow from the present, underdeveloped, underdeveloped position that they have found themselves, to actually, having a lot of development. That is actually the potential for them. Okay. Then number three is that it has promoted African unity. Okay. The fact that this Arab Maghreb Union have actually come together, have given, a leap for the African, for the African countries in North Africa, to have more unity amongst themselves. So it has promoted North African unity. So those are just the major things that we need to know under this subheading. Thank you very much.